50-year mortgage. What? That sounds crazy. Oh my God. That's a lifetime for some and most of a lifetime for many. Hold on. Before we jump to that, let's talk about the pros and the cons and whether or not I would recommend this to a buyer. Hear me out. Number one, early 1950s, there were droves of people and financiers and all kinds of people that said the 30-year mortgage was insane. Right in 1954, when the 30-year mortgage became a legitimate thing and it was passed in Congress, okay? Fannie Mae started backing 30-year fixed-rate mortgages at that time. Freddie Mac years later in the 1960s. And what happened? Well, some great things happened. 1940, there was a 40% home ownership rate in the United States. By 1960, because of what they did in the early 50s, there was over a 60% home ownership rate. And we all know that there are tremendous benefits to home ownership. Asset appreciation, control of your own domain, a fixed monthly payment. I could go on and on and on. Tax, mortgage interest reduction, I could go on and on. People tend to take better care of their housing. Neighborhoods are nicer when there's more home ownership, blah, 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 blah. You get the point. So there's some real pros there. But is this something that should be done? Is this something that a buyer should do? Well, I wouldn't recommend it, generally speaking. And for the buyers who would do it, if this thing were to pass, do I think that's a smart thing to do over the long term? No, absolutely I don't. And I would give the same advice that I give to buyers who have done adjustable rate mortgages over the years, or buyers who have done mortgages with buy downs in the last 3 or 4 years, okay? Buy down mortgages are when the payment is similar to that of a lower rate, and then after 2 or 3 years, it goes up to the current rate. Anytime people start getting into those kind of mortgages, you have to do it on a property that you can refinance into a permanent 30-year fixed loan at most, as far as years go, within a few years. So if this actually was to pass and go through, my recommendation to most buyers would be, don't do it. Stick with the 30-year fix. Don't get yourself into a 50. But if you need to do it because of some employment or some financial situation where you know for absolutely certain that you will make a lot more money in a few years, or something will change to make that easier for you to refi, okay, fine. But generally speaking, I would not want to see masses of buyers do this. Now, do I actually think this will happen? No, I do not. This is classic President Trump rhetoric. He is the absolute grandmaster of throwing a subject out there, aiming this high to put it on the radar, and then much less actually gets done. No different than other politicians who are successful with wild rhetoric like we've seen with others over the years, but he's the one over the last 10 years that does it the most. When I saw this Truth Social message the other night and people started texting and all that, I said, there he goes again. Even he knows they won't get a 50-year mortgage, but he wants to bring up the subject. Do I think that's a good thing? Yes, I do. Am I glad he did it to put it at the top of the radar? Yes, I'm very glad. What do I actually think will happen? I think that you might see a 35 or a 40-year. There have been some 40-year options out there from certain banks for more than 10 or 15 years. They've kind of come and go depending upon the environment. I think a 40-year is in the cards. I think it's probably coming, and that will be another mortgage option, which is a good thing, okay? But would I recommend this to buyers to do in masses and everybody to do it? No, I would not. So stay tuned. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, mortgage interest rates are getting better. And here's the other good news, home buyers. December 1st, the Federal Reserve is going to stop selling off mortgage-backed securities. What's that going to do to interest rates? It's going to drive interest rates further down. The 5% interest rates are coming. They're even here now, high fives for well-qualified buyers. But mark my words, they're going to be the average across the board, probably by the time we get to February or March. So things are looking up in housing. 2026 will undoubtedly be a bigger year for housing than 25. And guess what? 25 was an improvement from 24 as far as total home sales go. Government shutdowns coming to an end. Things are looking up. Hope that makes sense. Stay tuned in to Lamakia Realty. Follow me on Instagram or wherever else. Good luck. Happy home buying. Happy home selling. Thank you.